Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. For those who have just joined us, let's take a quick look at our latest TP video highlighting our focus and new tagline, Creating Tomorrow. Enjoy.
What's your vision of your tomorrow? Is it to be the best version of you? Maybe your desire is to inspire, to help the next generation and be their heroes? Tomorrow, at times, you may fall. You may experience pain. And you may come face to face with failure. But when you do, we'll be there to help you get up. Keep you moving forward and not look back. We're here to help you achieve your dreams. To work hand in hand together. To improve our community and surroundings for the better. Let's come up with tomorrow's radical ideas and implement tomorrow's cool solutions that'll put smiles on everyone's faces. So, do you have that burning desire to stay on top, keep abreast of new trends, and pick up new skills? To become tomorrow's leader, tomorrow's shaker, tomorrow's mover? Are these your aspirations? This is what we do at Temasek Polytechnic. Here, we are creating tomorrow, today.
A very good morning to everyone, especially our future students and parents. Just wish to give you all a very warm welcome to Temasek Polytechnic and to our Open House 2022. I'm Mary Thomas, and it will be my pleasure to be your MC for this Prep for the Next Step TP's webinar on Poly Education, hosted by the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. First, a few important notes. Please type your questions into the Q&A tab located at the bottom of your Zoom panel at any time. Answers to some questions will be typed and shared in the Q&A tab itself. Other questions will be addressed during the panel discussion towards the end of this webinar. Please also note that a recording of this session will be made available through the Open House website. Right, we will begin today's webinar with an introductory message from Mr. Peter Lam, Principal and CEO, Temasek Polytechnic. Then, Mr. Ben Lim, Director, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, will give us an overview of Temasek Poly and the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. The next segment will be hosted by the course chairs for each of the diplomas we offer, accompanied by some of our current students. We will end this morning's session with a panel discussion to answer the questions submitted in the Q&A tab. So let's begin today's webinar on Poly Education with the introductory message from Mr. Peter Lam, Principal and CEO, Temasek Polytechnic.
Hello students and parents. Thank you very much for joining us at Temasek Polytechnic's Open House webinar. You will be hearing about the options and opportunities available at TP and learn more about the admissions exercise that is coming up. I hope you will find the session useful. This coming week is an important one for you students as you decide on what to do next after your O-levels or after ITE. There are many good options available, whether you choose to go to a junior college or pick one of the courses that are offered by the 5 polytechnics. My advice to you is to choose a course of study that will best suit your interest, aptitude, and style of learning. If you decide to come to TP, please be assured that you will be in good hands for the next 3 years. We are committed to do our best to prepare our students for a world where industries are always evolving and where technology is constantly disrupting the way we live, study, and work. Beyond industry-specific knowledge and skills, TP also equips our students with skills that will make them strong leaders, innovative thinkers, and agile lifelong learners. We also develop our students to become responsible global citizens who can make meaningful contributions wherever they may go. So as educators, we are committed to nurturing your talents and abilities and empower you with the right skills so that you can achieve your dreams and create your own tomorrows, whatever that vision or aspiration may be. So I encourage you to explore our courses, our curricula, and our campus lifestyle. Today's webinar will give you a good opportunity for that. You can also continue to explore our open house website after this and listen to the sharing sessions by our lecturers, students, and even alumni, so that you can get a very good idea of what the TP experience could also mean for you. From 13th of January onwards, we will also be providing more one-on-one online consultations, as well as course preview talks. Please go to our website at tp.edu.sg for more information and updates. And I wish you all the best for your O-level results, and I certainly hope to see you in Temasek Polytechnic. Please enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Well, after that very useful introduction to Temasek Polytechnic, it is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ben Lim, Director, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Ben will give us an overview of Temasek Poly and the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Ben, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Just give me a moment to pull up my screen, please. Right, just to check, can you see my screen? Okay. Good morning. Happy New Year. Thank you very much, parents, guardians, and students for coming to our session here. We really thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. What I'm going to do for the next few minutes is to share about Temasek Polytechnic and also our School of Humanities and Social Sciences, HSS in short. Now, in Temasek Polytechnic, we have altogether 6 academic schools, right? You can see from here, the 6 schools are School of Applied Science, School of Business, School of Design, Engineering, our school, HSS, Humanities and Social Sciences, and the School of Informatics and IT. Now, altogether, the 6 schools, we offer a total of 36 diploma courses and also 3 common entry programs. I shall talk a little bit more about the common entry programs later. Now, the student profile. Basically in TP, this is what we hope to train and nurture our students in. We would like our students to be good problem solvers, right? And also to be digital literate. Actually, our students, they are already digital natives, but we will enhance that. And being information literate, able to sieve out good information, correct information for their use. And being innovative, curious, creative, and entrepreneurial. And we also like to train our students to be leaders, not just leaders, but leaders with sound character, leaders who are service-minded. Over here, you can see that there's a communicative here. Actually, over the many years, we have feedback from employers that communication skills is very important. So we would like to train our students to be communicative, communicate well, able to write well, able to present well, share well. And of course, also very important, having a collaborative mindset, being able to work together with others. And over this side, you'll see that we also have emphasis in training our students to be self-directed. In being a lifelong learner, we know that learning doesn't stop at the end of a diploma or a degree. Learning goes on, all right? And it's good that our students are able to be self-directed in their learning, able to be resourceful, to find the information they need in order to continue to learn, to do their work. Resilience over here is something whereby we realize it is very important, especially in the last couple of years. Being hit by COVID, we know that we need to be resilient. And moving forward, we know the world is a VUCA world, a very unpredictable world. And it is important for us to train our students to be resilient here, so that should they face setback, they're able to bounce back and do well, all right? And being competent is, of course, being able to do what they are trained to do in their respective job in their industry. So these are the student profile that we want to build in each and every of our students. Over here, you see that this is our TP brand of education. We have emphasis on applied learning. Basically, this is talking about being practice-oriented, giving our students hands-on experience to also deepen their skills, and also to make use of technology in learning. Today, the students are pretty well trained. They're so used to online learning already. And we also work very closely with our industry partners. For example, we send our students out for internship to work with the external organizations. The internship could stretch from 16 weeks to about 6 months. And when we work with our industry partners, it's not just an internship. In many of the major projects, the final year projects that the student work on, we also work with the industry partners. And also some subjects, we involve the industry partners as well. So a lot of these are also done through our Center of Excellence. And this is just a snapshot, some examples of the many centers of excellence in Temasek Polytechnic. To give you an example, for example, you see here Temasek Culinary Academy. So you see students here doing some things in the kitchen. We have a student restaurant whereby the students are not just trained in the back end of the restaurant in the kitchen. They are also trained at the front end, all right, at the reception area, the cashing area, how to serve the customers, and so on. So this is just an example. Over here, we have the Smart E-commerce Center. This is quite a new center whereby the students are trained in digital marketing, online transactions. And this is what you see here is actually an unmanned shop here over here, right? And over here, we have Advanced Manufacturing Center. This is also one of our latest center. It is actually a smart factory whereby students from engineering school, from business school, from the informatics and IT school, and also from the School of Design, they have a chance to work together in this smart factory. So this is just some of the centers that we have in Temasek Polytechnic. In HSS, our school, we have a Center for Applied Behavioral and Social Sciences. This is a center that does research and also be the contact point with our industry partners. And we draw projects in so that our students have a chance to work on real-life projects. Besides the applied learning, technology-enabled learning, and working with our industry, there's also a lot of emphasis on life skills. What you see here, the global exposure, is something whereby we want our students to gain global perspectives. We know that in the working world, they could be working overseas, or even working in Singapore. They could have colleagues who are from overseas. So the ability to communicate with people from overseas, ability to work with them, being culturally sensitive. In the past pre-COVID days, we were able to send our students overseas for overseas exposure. But of course, today, we know we can't do it. But nevertheless, we also arrange for virtual sessions. So our students still have opportunities to interact with overseas students, foreign lecturers, and also business people from other countries. And over here on the left side, you see a picture. This is actually our student, HHS students. They are doing their overseas community service in Cambodia, right? They go to a village and they help the villagers over there. For example, they renovate classrooms, do the tiling of the floor for the school, and they work with this school You go there for multiple trips, not just a one-time thing, and they cultivate the relationship with the village over there. And this is also part of the culture of caring that we're trying to instill in our students. Moving on, this is the diploma academic structure. Typical of diplomas in Temasek Polytechnic. We have the diploma core subjects here, which is to train them in their domain area. And we also have diploma electives whereby they are able to specialize in some area within the diploma. On top of this, we have a group of core subjects, common subjects that the students, all TP students have to take. And we call this the TP fundamentals. And these are really the life skills subjects. In yesterday's event in TP, Minister Maliki actually also mentioned about life skills, the importance of life skills in training the students. So these are the subjects the students have to take, every single TP students have to take. And it's good training in terms of life skills. Just to give you an example, say, for example, current issues and critical thinking. This is a subject whereby the students have a chance to learn about critical thinking method and then apply them to some current issues. For example, environmental issue, or even what we are experiencing now being the COVID days and so forth. Applying this critical thinking so that they are objective in their opinions, in their views. And of course, we have a lot of emphasis on communication skills. I just mentioned that employers have given us feedback that this is one of those things that they are looking for, right? And of course, leadership. Now, earlier I mentioned about common entry programs, and I just want to share this. The three schools here, School of Business, School of Engineering, and School of Informatics and IT, they have common entry programs, whereby the first semester or the first year of the diploma program is a common year. This is meant for students who are still not quite sure of their specialization. So for example, they're interested in a diploma in engineering, but there are quite a few diplomas in the engineering school, and they're still not quite sure which diploma they want yet. They can actually go for the common entry program in engineering. In the first year, they will have a chance to be exposed to various aspects of engineering. And at the end of the first year, they have a chance to make a selection, which specialization they would like to go into, right? And then in the year 2 and year 3, they will be able to do that specialization for that particular diploma. This is something whereby I believe all of you are very interested in, the admissions exercises, which actually will start next week. So for the O-level holders, we have this joint admission exercise, JAE in short. So this exercise will actually start next week, 12 to 17 January, Wednesday to the following Monday. There is one online application that the student has to do, and the student has up to 12 choices across institutions listed in the box here. All right, the 12 choices can be for diploma courses offered by the 5 polytechnics, A-level course with the JC, with the Millennia Institute, and also with ITE. And at the end of it, the system, the MOE system, will have one offer for the student, right? So take note, it's next week, 12 to 17 January. By now, you know that the O-level results will be released on the 12th. And something more that TP is also offering is that next week, on the 13th of January at 11 o'clock, there will be a webinar on optimizing your 12 JAE choices, right? It's not easy to make your 12 JAE choices, so I'm sure you do not want to waste your choices. So this is a very good and useful webinar to attend, all right? Next Thursday, 11 a.m. To learn how to optimize your 12 choices, precious 12 choices, okay? Now I come to the Polytechnic Foundation Program, PFP in short. This is actually meant for the eligible normal acad level holders. This is offered to the top 15% of the normal acad students. And should they meet the subject requirements as well, they're able to choose a diploma from the 36 diplomas that we have, or the three common entry programs. So in this PFP program, Poly Foundation Program, the students have to do a group of core subjects And the core subjects are listed over here, from language and communication, research, mathematics, down to even fitness and wellness. These are all compulsory subjects for the PFP student. And the students by this time would have already selected the diploma that they will be going into after their 1-year PFP program. And this one, they will also have a chance to be exposed to some foundational subjects in the domain that they have chosen. So for example, they have selected to go to a diploma in the School of Business, say for example, diploma in accountancy and finance. So they will do some business foundational subjects as well to prepare them for the 3-year journey when they join the School of Business. And for the PFP program, the admissions exercise is the same period as the JAE, 12 to 17 Jan. One online application. They have up to 5 choices across the 5 polytechnics. And at the end of it, they will be given 1 offer, right? So this is for the PFP admissions exercise. And now for the ITE students, this will be known as a joint polytechnic admissions exercise, JPAE, right? For the ITE students. The dates are a little bit later, 21st to 25th February. What I understand that this is just about a week before the IT students take their final exams, right? They will make 1 online application and they have up to 8 choices across the institutions, the ITE. And at the end of it, they will have 1 offer, right? So this is for the ITE students. And with that, I will come to the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, our school. We offer 3 diplomas in Early Childhood and Development Education. Take note of the code is T68, T for Temasek. We also have Diploma in Psychology Studies, T48, and Diploma in Social Sciences in Gerontology, T53. So our school is actually quite a small school. It's a smaller school and also the newest school in Temasek Polytechnic. We started in 2007. The school started established in 2007, and we launched our first diploma in 2008, which is the Psychology Studies. I remember in 2008, our first batch of year 1 students, we had only 55 students. So the school started with just 55 students. Today, we have the 3 diplomas and we have close to 1,000 students. Okay. I also want to mention that in Temasek Polytechnic, it's not all about study, it's not all about the diploma. We also have a lot of emphasis on CCAs because we believe that is certainly one area whereby the students can gain a lot of training, especially in life skills. All right. We have more than 100 CCAs in Temasek Polytechnic. So by joining a club, to be, say, in the performance arts or joining a sports team, they will have learned a lot of life skills as well, especially skills that are not quite practiced in the classroom. Okay. So with this, I shall pass the time back to Mary for the rest of the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ben, for a very clear and comprehensive sharing of what to expect when you enroll in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. Okay, now we shall move to the segment where we will meet the course chairs for each of our 3 diplomas, joined by a student from each diploma to give further insights into the course. We begin with a diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education, which will be presented by Ms. Dorcas Tang, who is from the National Institute of Early Childhood Development, NIEC, and the campus head of NIEC, TP Campus. And she will be joined by Ms. Jinin Ng, the course chair. It is with pleasure that I hand this session over to Ms. Dorcas Tang. Dorcas, please.
Thank you, Marie. Good morning, everyone. I am Dorcas, campus head of NIEC TP, overseeing the early childhood course. So allow me to share with you what are the 3 traits of students who do well in our course based on our observation. Number 1, passion. So students who thrive in the course usually love children. You can see the spark in their eyes when they talk about children, and they are usually very enthusiastic and love the interactions with children during practicum and internship. And we all know that when one is interested in doing something, he or she is always willing to spend a lot of time and effort on that and will usually do well in that. Number 2, discipline. So unlike in secondary schools where there is a national exam at the end, we have ongoing assessments and the results are cumulative to get the final graduating GPA. So students have to work hard consistently and have good time management skills if they want to do well. Last but not least, academic ability. Many students have this misconception that the early childhood course is all about teaching 1, 2, 3 and ABCs or playing with children. Students do have practicums and internships where they get to interact and play with children, but they also need to learn, understand and analyze theories or contents before they can apply during their practicum and internship. There are individual and group written assignments too, besides practical assignments and projects. So students do need to have some level of academic ability to complete these assignments. After all, this is still an academic and professional diploma. So parents, if you know that your child is interested in the early childhood course and aspire to be an early childhood educator, do encourage him or her to apply for it, and we look forward to welcoming him or her into our course. And all the best for the results next week. Thank you. Over to you, Ginny.
Hi, a very good morning to our future students and parents. So thank you for staying with us. Welcome to the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education sharing session. In short, our diploma name, I will be often referring it to ECDE. Now, I am Miss Jeannie Ng, the course chair of the diploma, and we'll be sharing more about the National Institute of Early Childhood Development, in short, NIEC, and the diploma. So at NIEC, we believe it starts with a big heart to shape little minds. So before I go into the course details, let us first watch a short video clip through the eyes of young children.
Huh? What? A copycat. A copywriter copies a person's writing. They copy? That's bad. You must think of your own idea. Treasure does nothing. The treasurer hides treasures in secret places. Inside the treasure have gold. Monies. Golden monies. They carry everything, everywhere, and capture all the bad guys. The sign will say don't run. If they run, then the security guard will say, hey, what are you doing? Don't rush. A teacher teaches students Chinese and mathematics, history, art, English, racing. If we don't have teachers, we don't know how to do anything. Teachers does a lot of things. My teacher helped me with my cuts. She put a bandage. It was very painful. Now it's gone. I also need to listen what my teacher says so I can be clever. Teachers have teachers. Teachers go to school so they can teach their children how to be nice to one another.
It is indeed interesting, isn't it, to hear the thoughts of young children and what they think of different jobs, especially of the job of a teacher. And, the question, does teachers go to school? Of course, aspiring early childhood teachers can receive their training right here at NIEC TP. If you feel that the early years are very important in gaining a head start in life and think you could like to shape little minds and be part of the education journey, so why not start your early childhood journey at the National Institute of Early Childhood Development? NIEC is a national training institute set up by MOE to train teachers for the early childhood sector. The aim is to provide quality training and professional development for early childhood educators at every stage of their career. And that means after you graduate and become a preschool teacher, you can still continue your learning journey by taking courses at NIEC. Now, the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education, in short ECD, is available at both TP and MP campus. At both campuses, we train our students to have a foundation in early childhood development, care, and education in infants and young children. Students get to experience cross-campus learning and electives at the final year, and also get the opportunity to apply theory to practice via the yearly practicums and a 6-month internship in the final year. As part of your training at NIEC, you will be equipped with skills to plan and execute quality learning experiences for children in the 6 learning areas such as social emotional development, motor skills development, aesthetic and creative expressions, numeracy, discovery of the world, and last but not least, language and literacy. And only at NIEC TP, we offer our 3rd year students a specialized track in the visual arts. And through this track, with the 3 modules, interested students who are interested in arts education for preschooler, they get an opportunity to develop a niche skill set in book illustration, digital media and new media, and the 2D and 3D arts. So being an NIEC student, you will enjoy a dual identity as a student of NIEC and TP, and will enjoy quality foundation training, practice-oriented learning through all our hands-on activities as part of our tutorials, being part of the NIEC family, working and learning with our ITE and our NP students, cross-campus learning such as seminars and electives, student support services at TP, and a vibrant campus life like what Mr. Ben Lim has mentioned with 100 over CCAs, and feel free to take your pick. And you can also choose to join the ECD, ECDE interest group as well. And we all get a global perspective of education right here at NIEC TP campus. Now, the 6-month student internship program provides opportunities for the students to practice and hone their skills and learn more about the preschool environment. Students get a stipend of about $700 and for every month during their internship program in the final year. So armed with the experiences gained through the yearly practicums in year 1 and year 2 and a 3rd year internship, you can look forward to find employment as a preschool educator or choose to further your studies at SUSS. Okay. With further studies and training, a wide variety of options are also available in the following areas such as family and child support, etc. Okay. Let's hear from our current students about their experiences at NIEC Temasek Poly. So before we hear from them, I'd like to also share about the ECDA Training Award. Now, the Training Award have sponsor our students for full course fee sponsorship throughout their 3 years, and they provide grants for learning and a monthly study allowance of $800 a month. Right? So when you apply for and upon a successful application of the ECDA Training Award, students get to have a monthly study allowance, as well as they get the opportunity to network across and within the sector. Right? For more information on the ECDA Training Award, feel free to head over to ECDA website or TP HSS website as well. There'll be a link to send you over to the ECDA website. So without further ado, let's hear from our current students. They have a lot of things to share with us about their experiences here in NIEC Temasek Poly. Now, hello, Raisha.
Hello. So, hello everyone. My name is Noraisa Iman. I'm a year 2 student in early childhood education. I joined the course via early admission exercise in 2020.
Great. Right, it's good to have you here, Raisha. And perhaps, would you like to share with us one of your memorable moments in the diploma?
For me, I feel a memorable ECDE moment was having to perform my language and literacy lesson plan using resources for the first time. And with my year 1 in ECDE being 90% online, I had to execute the activity in front of my module teacher and classmates, which needed me to adapt to face-to-face. And it was a challenging yet exciting experience for me. From only seeing their faces on computer screens to imagining them as children sitting in front of me, and I had to conduct my lessons. It was a huge jump. So I had to master all the courage and confidence within myself to present my lessons with puppets and DIY animals while singing to them. And for me, I feel it's memorable because it was my first dive into the life of a preschool teacher, and I managed to enjoy myself while doing it. Furthermore, I am able to see the different resources made by other classmates, and it inspired me to create more unique and engaging activities for children in the future.
Thank you, Raisha. Now, it's really amazing, actually, isn't it? That we, with all online lessons and so on, and you have to really imagine how to conduct those lessons. And I'm glad that you actually enjoy your practicum sessions with the children and further inspire you to create even more exciting and enriching activities for the children. So what about being an NIECTP student like for you? What is it? How does it feel and how does it look like for you?
For me, I feel that the life of a TP NIC student is really full of amazing experiences that was also eye-opening to me and all my friends. So, and one of those is being able to experience practicum, which is a module that allows us to execute what we learn in class into a physical preschool. So the practicum provided me the opportunity to execute my knowledge and skills from curriculum planning and other subjects, like you mentioned earlier, which is motor skills development, numeracy, and language and literacy. So I was nervous but excited at the thought of conducting activities planned by me with my own resources to a class of children. So in the beginning, it was nerve-wracking, despite my audience being 15 4-year-old children. However, upon reminding myself to have fun as I teach them new concepts, I managed to make the lesson enjoyable. And furthermore, being able to see what they gain from my lesson through a sharing session or different forms of expression, I was able to see my hard work coming into fruition. Other than that, I also get constructive feedback from my host teachers and supervisors on things that needs to be improved or what was good about my lesson plan. And overall, my experience helped me to reflect upon my abilities as a preschool teacher and helped me to obtain skills that cannot be taught in a tutorial or lecture. Thus, I feel that the life of a TPNIC student allows us to practice on improving ourselves as a preschool teacher before going to internship, which hence prepare ourselves better. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, Raisha. Now, I'm glad and I'm sure that the children that you engaged with during your time in the preschool center, they must have really enjoyed your session. And I'm also very happy to hear that with all your training that we have given you during the tutorial lessons and even the lectures as well, and all the hands-on activities, and you've done things with your group mates and so on, it actually put you in good stead for practicum in year 2. So all the best for internship that's upcoming very soon. Right. So thank you, Raisha, for being here with us. And I enjoy and like looking at your lovely smile this morning. Right. So, okay, now let's hear from Akhil. Now, Akhil is one of our male students, and I'd like to invite him online.
Hello everyone, I'm Akhil, a year 2 student from ECDE. I entered this course via early admission exercise in 2020, and I was from Senior Secondary School.
Right, Akhil. Right, good to see you. Now, maybe would you like to share with all of us, why do you choose to study the diploma, to study the early childhood diploma?
I chose to study early childhood as well as choose this as a career option because I absolutely enjoy teaching and guiding children. Additionally, I believe there's nothing more fruitful and enriching to witness the growth of children from their early years to their beginning journey in primary school. It is safe to say that their smiles and laughter will definitely brighten up one's day. Hence, with this passion, I chose to enter this course to better equip myself with the necessary skills and values I need to be a preschool educator. Additionally, with modules that teaches me on how to be an effective and practitioner, I'm able to explore myself as well as the teacher I could be and the difference I would make with the kids that I'll be teaching in the future.
Okay, that's good. It's really inspiring to hear that despite people may see things differently about male educators, and then you really wanted to study and aspire to be an early child educator to really nurture and guide little lives. So how do you feel about being a male student then? I mean, this is a reality check, isn't it? Being a male student in a female-dominated classroom. And how do you see yourself, as a male educator to be? You're under training right now. So what are some of the thoughts and that you might like to share with all of us?
At first, I would admit that it was a difficulty because I was raised in a boys' school as well as a fairly equal co-ed school. Hence, it was not easy to adapt to a learning environment that is female-dominated. However, I'm confident enough to represent the entire male student body in this course when I say that there's absolutely no distinction or separation of gender in the classroom. I have teachers and lecturers who are always accepting and welcoming of students of different backgrounds. More importantly, I have peers who all share the same passion as myself, wanting to serve in this teaching industry, as well as our general admiration for children. Moreover, we have events such as We Are Meant to Be, which is an event or a group solely dedicated for the male early childhood students in TP. I joined this event last year, and I managed to make a lot of male friends from across the 3 years who all share the same passion as myself. I was also given a platform to address any concerns I had as a male student in this course, as well as a beginning male preschool educator. In terms of how I envision myself to be as a male educator in the future, I hope to be one that is well-rounded and well-equipped in teaching the important learning domains mentioned earlier, such as the language or the arts. These are important aspects that I believe I can only learn in depth in this course. Additionally, I wish to be a teacher that's often on the ground, teaching, working with other teachers, as well as forging a close bond with the children. Based on the structure of the learning environment in our course, that is mostly group-based or group-oriented, is allowing me to develop all the social skills I need for me to be the teacher that I wish to be in the future.
Thank you, Akil. Now, I also would like to encourage you that the preschool industry is now getting more and more responsive to male preschool educators, and they are highly sought after. And male preschool educators are actually highly looked up, and respected, because as a father figure or a male figure in the preschool center. And I believe you had a wonderful time during your practicum working with the young children and so on, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Akil, for sharing with us. So I'd like to hand over the time back to Mary. And before Mary goes on, you can start picking up your NIEC school kit for all you need to know about an EC educator. You can scan the QR code there, and you can discover what lessons are like at the NIEC micro site. Yeah. So thank you very much. And I've come to the end of our session today. So you can follow us at NIEC Singapore. So over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Dorcas, Jenny, Reza, and Akil. Right now, from little children, we are going to move to elder care. I'm certain that many of you already know that elder care is one of the next big areas of employment expansion in Singapore. We are an aging society. So let us meet up with a course chair for the Diploma in Social Sciences in Gerontology, Miss Emily Wong, and listen to what she has to say about their course. Emily, the segment is all yours.
Thank you, Mary. I hope you can all hear me clearly. Okay, very good morning to all parents and students. I'm Emily, the course chair for the Diploma in Gerontology. Happy to have this chance to share a little bit with you about our very unique Diploma in Gerontology, T53. Okay, so why study GEM? Because we are the only diploma in Singapore that specializes in healthy aging. This means that there is going to be less competition when you apply to a relevant job in a relevant sector. Okay, secondly, because aging is a multidimensional experience, aging doesn't just affect our physical body, our physical appearance, it actually affects it changes our thinking, our mental, our intellectual wellness, and our social roles in society. And because of that, we have a multidimensional, a multidisciplinary curriculum that is taught by lecturers from gerontology, social work, psychology, sociology, and even business and marketing. And finally, there will be many job opportunities out there for you because aging population has created a huge demand for health and social care services. GEM prepares you to be a change maker in these sectors. This is a snapshot of what you will learn in the 3-year course. You will lay your foundations in humanities, including gerontology, sociology, psychology in your first year. Okay. In the second and third year, you will deepen your knowledge through, and hone your skills through these practicum subjects. All right, where you actually get to plan and run programs for real seniors. And of course, we have the student internship that many students look forward to. We'll share more about this later on. Okay, so in summary, GEM offers you a very hands-on, experiential, and skills-based learning. Okay, so GEM will equip you with skills to effectively communicate with older adults and their caregivers from all walks of life. This skill is essential, as you heard Mr. Benvin mentioned earlier, that many employers and companies actually feedback about the importance of communication. So the ability to communicate effectively with seniors is very essential when you are coaching them to adopt healthy habits, or trying to understand or educate them about their how and where to seek various assistance. And even if you choose not to work with older adults, the ability to communicate with them will be a value add wherever you go. Because if you think about it, you will encounter older adults on a daily basis as family members, colleagues, bosses, and business partners. So the ability to understand the experience of aging can help you build rapport with them and achieve positive outcomes. Second, often older adults in the community have complex social and care needs that require multiple stakeholders to work together. So you will be in a privileged position to support these seniors. And in order to support them, we will equip you with skills to collaborate with community partners and to activate the necessary resources for the seniors. Okay, and finally, you will learn how to plan and run programs for older adults and the community that aim to promote lifelong learning, social and mental wellness. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about the student internship program. It's a 16-week training program that takes place in the final year. So students work in organizations from the health and social service sectors. So today I'm very happy to have Kishan, our very own final year GEM student, to share his perspective as a student. So Kishan came from the NITEC in Community Care and Social Services. All right, so he will tell you a bit more about his passion for social work and also his internship experience so far. Hi Kishan, thanks for coming today. Hello.
Hi. Okay.
I understand you've been interning as a program assistant at Lions Befrienders, which is a social service agency for vulnerable seniors. So how has the experience been so far?
Miss Emily, I have to say that my internship experience has been a really enriching one for me. That is because I get to organize activities and programs for seniors to attend. And I would like to take this opportunity to actually share about a senior who actually started attending one of the celebrations I recently organized, which was a birthday celebration. And this was the first time he ever attended this activity after being a member for 6 years. So, this really made me feel really good. It's like having a hot cup of Milo during a rainy day. Yeah. So this experience definitely reminded me why I wanted to become a social worker and strengthened my will to become one.
Thank you, Kishan. And yeah, it's actually these experiences you have with the seniors that you work with during internship that really helps you to create very fond memories of these 16 weeks. We can't tell you all about how, the subjects prepare you for internship, but really it's the human-to-human interactions that you can look forward to getting when you are interning and working in the social services or even just the human services. Okay, thank you, Kishan. And indeed, internship is a great way to not only apply your skills, but also discover your passion. Pre-COVID, we had quite many overseas internships and student exchanges in Hong Kong, Chiang Mai, and Tokyo. And it is without a doubt that students really enjoyed themselves, especially when they were in Chiang Mai in our most recent overseas internship about 3 years ago, before COVID. Students interned at a long stay care resort where they assisted with the care duties and they planned programs and activities for the residents at the resort. So it was a very immersive experience for them because they lived and worked at the resort for a full 10 weeks. While such overseas activities have been suspended due to COVID, we are hopeful that they will be resumed in time to come. And as Mr. Benvin mentioned earlier, we are also looking into virtual exchanges so that GEM students continue to have that exposure. Okay. There are many job opportunities out there for you upon graduation. This is a common question we get from potential students and parents when they come to our course. And like I said, aging is a job creating machine. And the demand for health and social care services has increased drastically due to COVID. We see this from the number of applications that we receive from companies asking for internships. And despite COVID, the number of applications that we get remain very healthy, and all our students are placed in relevant organizations. So some of the positions that you may find yourself in after graduation without needing to further your studies are positions like social work assistant, program executive, patient service associate, marketing executive, and basically, so it's apart from the healthcare and social service, basically any company, even the private ones, if they are interested in marketing their products and services to older consumers, your understanding of the psyche of an older person will come in very handy in terms of how to create rapport with them, how to build trust with them, how to get them to be receptive to your ideas. That's actually a very understated but essential skill to have everywhere you go. Okay? And here are some of our key industry partners that we've worked with over the years. They are from healthcare and social service sectors, and there is a mix of non-profits and private organizations. All right, and on your right, you will see one of our GEM alumni, Swali Hatu, who has charted a successful path for herself after graduation. So she got a job as a social work assistant at Tan Tock Seng Hospital, and then she started her part-time degree in social work while working at the hospital. SWAL represents a trend we're seeing in our graduates. Many start work first and commence part-time studies after. And some also manage to get full or partial sponsorship from their employers to study a related degree program. So this is a pathway to consider as your learning becomes more real when you're able to apply directly into the work that you do. Okay? And for those of you who plan to further your studies after poly, these are the universities that our students commonly enroll into in programs such as physiotherapy at SIT, social work at SUSS or NUS, and business and nursing. Yes, and as Kishan mentioned, we have a GEM student interest group which has been very active in organizing these bonding activities amongst peers and also activities and outreach for the community. So truly in GEM, we encourage students to not only study hard, but actively make use of opportunities outside of the classroom to bond with their peers and develop your unique skills and talents. So in summary, join GEM because there are many job opportunities for you, as I've mentioned before. A career in health and social service also offers professional longevity because of the consistent demand and opportunities for upgrading. You'll also derive personal satisfaction from this work that allows you to give back to the community. So in GEM, you'll find yourself in the intersection of a stable career and both personal and professional satisfaction. All right, so I've come to the end of the webinar. Once again, apologies for all the disruptions. Do check out the diploma via the QR code, Facebook or Instagram. Okay, and I'll hope to take some questions later on. Thank you very much. So I'll now hand over to Mary Thomas.
Thank you, Emily and Kishan Raj, for showing us about the gerontology students and how they're being prepared to create a new kind of aging experience in Singapore through the Diploma in Social Sciences and Gerontology. For our third and final diploma sharing, I'm very pleased to invite the course chair for the Diploma in Psychology Studies, Ms. Fiona Thong, to share about this diploma with us. Fiona, please.
Thank you, Vivian. Hi, everyone. My name is Fiona, and I'm the course chair for the Diploma in Psychology Studies. I'll be sharing more about our diploma with you today, and I'm pleased that Amelia Cole, one of our Year 2 students, will be joining me today in my sharing. Just a quick introduction on Amelia. She's the Secretary for Toastmasters CCA in Temasek Polytechnic, and also the Quartermaster Secretary for our very own Psychology Studies interest group. You will hear more from her about her involvement with PSIC later on as well. Hi, Amelia, welcome. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing more with you about T48, the Diploma in Psychology Studies, but more importantly, get to experience first what it is like to conduct projects in the working world. These skills will eventually prepare our students for a rewarding career, especially in the social service and special needs education sectors, where psychological skills and concepts are applied to better the lives of many. In short, the diploma places a strong emphasis on equipping students with relevant skill sets and knowledge in the areas of social service and special needs education to better meet the needs of the industries where there will be a strong demand for our diploma graduates. Electives are also offered to our students so that they can choose to focus on areas that they are more interested in. As we go a little bit more in depth into what students actually learn in their 3 years of studies, we see that the diploma aims to provide a strong foundation in different fields of psychology. In year 1, students will be exposed to introductory subjects that lay the foundation for their studies in year 2 and 3. For example, subjects such as foundation psychology, introduction to social services, and introduction to special needs education. Once they are oriented to the academic domains of psychology, their studies in year 2 will start to hone their skills in research, which is an essential skill in the study of psychology. And finally, in year 3, students will be exposed to a range of applied subjects so that they can learn how to apply their knowledge from the course into the real world setting. So this is where I will take a break and let Amelia share more with you about the subjects that she has taken thus far.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fiona. So after spending slightly more than 1.5 years in the diploma, I have found a wide range of modules which I never have thought would have piqued my interest. For the psych side of things, I enjoy developmental side, the most due to its biological and methodical nature, where we learn about the biological, cognitive, and social-emotional aspects of each life stage from prenatal to late adulthood. Although that class was conducted fully online, I felt that my tutor was really able to engage me, and her love for the module's content definitely rubbed off on me as well. Now we can move on to the big topic known as statistics. TP definitely emphasizes a lot on statistics. In fact, we have at least one statistics-based module each semester. I thought that I was going to hate statistics since I've hated math since primary school. But I guess I'm one of the rare ones who can say that I quite enjoy statistics now. This definitely has got to do with the very amazing tutors who has taken me for statistic modules. They have always been patient in answering my countless queries. The way they explain statistics and how it really works rather than just making us regurgitate information is what made me really like it. As I was saying, the way that our lecturers explain statistics and how it really works, rather than making us regurgitate information, is what really makes me like statistics, as I finally understood what I was doing rather than just inputting numbers. The statistics-heavy modules such as applied psychology projects really stretched me and tested not only whether I understood it theoretically, but whether I was able to apply it practically. I'm not going to lie, these modules are not easy, but you will gain a lot out of it.
Thanks, Amelia. I'm sure some of you might also wonder, how do you get assessed in Polytechnic? Amelia, perhaps you might want to share more about the assignments you do for the various subjects.
Okay, sure. So we have 3 types of assessments. So the first type will be exams, and I'm sure most of you are quite familiar with it because currently due to the pandemic, there are both open book and closed book exams. And secondly, there are individual assignments. So this ranges from doing things such as journal articles to writing reports or even essays about a particular topic. And finally, group projects. I think group projects are the more niche area of poly, so I'll be covering more on that. So there's definitely challenges working in groups due to different personas and different thinking and working standards. But although they are very challenging, we do pull through, and it's a very enriching experience at the end of it. I will highlight one of my most enjoyable group projects. So during my first semester, since we were all new and didn't know each other, our lecturer made the decision to group us. And that was how I actually met my current friend group. Out of all the groups I had that semester, this group really made me feel excited about our project, and gradually our time spent together. We progressed from work-only calls to having casual conversations to heart-to-heart talks until the middle of the night. In terms of interesting projects, going back to developmental side, as I mentioned earlier, that was one of the projects that I was the most proud of. My group and I did the topic of adolescence, and we had so much fun putting our slides together and its interactive elements such as Kahoot and role plays for an engaging presentation.
Thank you, Amelia. So in the Diploma in Psychology Studies, one of our key focus is also to create opportunities for our students to engage in real-world research. Some examples could include using data to develop materials for children with ADHD, or using psychological concepts to nudge individuals to recycle their electronic waste. As projects are usually done in collaboration with industry partners, students also get the opportunity to present their materials or research to them. In addition, students participate in research competitions and conferences with their research findings, and TP has done pretty well in some of these competitions. For example, the Student Research Awards organized by Singapore Psychological Society. Amelia was recently an award winner, so I'll let her share her achievements with you.
Yep, so currently last year during the Student Research Awards, I actually entered an individual piece as well as a group piece. The individual piece achieved third place in the diploma category, and the group piece was actually the winner of the diploma category. So I'll focus on the group piece. Our group piece was actually done under the module of Applied Psychology Project A, where my group and I did a study on examining the relationship between students' motivation with vocational identity and career decision-making. It was a very rough journey due to the heavy nature of doing a study from scratch, but I definitely learned the most from this project. It was especially special to me since I was the principal investigator, which meant that I actually led most of this project. And hence, since I was the principal investigator, I was actually also the presenter during the actual final day of the Student Research Awards. And during that, I was able to present our research findings in front of a panel of esteemed judges. And I really learned a lot from that experience, and especially during the Q&A session, where I was able to answer questions based on our project. And I felt very proud and happy to be able to present my paper at such a major event.
Well done, Amelia. Thank you and congrats again. And I'll move on to the last area that one of the last areas that I would like to touch on, which is the student internship program. Over the years, we have had many partners on board with us for this program. They also come from a wide variety of sectors where psychology skills and knowledge can be applied. This includes ministries and statutory boards, organizations in the social service and special needs sectors, hospitals, research organizations, as well as business or human resource departments in the private sector. As far as possible, we will try to match students to their internship based on their areas of interest and the internship placements that are available. And I think last but not least, I thought to end off our segment by inviting Amelia once again to share about her experiences beyond academics. But perhaps she can share more with you all about what HSS stands for and what it means to her.
Okay, so HSS actually stands for Heart, Spirit, and Soul. Although I may not have gone through the usual hype of orientation due to entering poly during the pandemic, but I think after 1.5 years, I have found my footing in HSS. HSS Studies Club, or HSS SC, does organize a lot of fun activities such as dress up day and project coordinators, which brings people from the different courses in HSS together to plan activities for one another. In fact, they plan part of this open house and your upcoming orientation, so stay tuned. Personally, I am not as involved in the school level due to my other commitments, one of them being at the diploma level. I am the current Quartermaster Secretary of the Psychology Studies Interest Group, or PSIC, as Ms. Fiona mentioned earlier. PSIC events have definitely helped me to settle better into the diploma, especially their Psychology Connects group, or PCG. PCG is where people from different years inside come together in groups of around 5 to promote senior and junior bonding. I had such a great group in year 1, and it really showed me how interested and dedicated my seniors were to this course and how nice and friendly they were too. Since they have gone through similar modules and experiences, they were always ready to help me, whether it was about academics or even group project issues. It really made me feel safe and welcomed in the diploma. There are other events such as the annual site conference where seniors share about their major projects, helped me to glimpse into what my future may be like. And all the different industry talks also allowed me to understand the different pathways rather than the usual clinical site route. My experience of all of this led me to sign up for EXCO in PSIC last year. And who knows, maybe I'll be planning your events. Finally, how can we forget our dear lecturers? Most of them have been really kind and understanding. They do treat us like mature adults and sometimes even friends. And I can really see the interest and passion they have for their respective modules. Some of them also take the time to check in beyond me, beyond my grades and all, and I see that they really do care for me as a person. I really do feel the heart, spirit, and soul which makes up HSS. So welcome to HSS, welcome home. Come and join our family now.
Thank you very much, Amelia. And thank you everybody for your kind attention and patience. If you wish to find out more, please do head over to our website. You can scan the QR codes that are provided here. You can also follow the Psychology Studies Interest Group at TPASIG on Instagram for events and information on psychology. I look forward to answering your questions and also to welcome you to the diploma. Thank you very much, and over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Fiona and Amelia. Thank you very much for a very interesting sharing on the Diploma in Psychology Studies. Right, we have now come to the segment which you all have been waiting for. You want to ask us questions, right? So we've come to the Q&A segment. Thank you for your questions. All those who have typed into the Q&A tab. Now I'd like to invite our panel. I'd like to invite Mr. Van Lim, Director, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Mr. Terence Leong, Deputy Director, Academic and Administrative Matters, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and our course chairs to turn on their cameras now and join me on screen. Okay, are we ready, everybody? Let's begin with the first question. I noticed that a lot of people are very interested in entry requirements. So the first question we have is, what are the cutoff points for N-level and what are the pathway for N-level students? Anyone? Ben, you want to answer?
Terence, PFP.
Oh, okay.
Sure, hi. Good morning, everyone. Right, for the N-level program cutoff, I believe the audience is probably asking for entry into the Poly Foundation Year program, right? So Poly Foundation Year program is this alternative pathway for the top 15% of the students who have done well at the based on the N-level results. Now, the basic requirement is that students must score a minimum of 12 points raw, right? Raw aggregate, and these 12 points will be based on their English, their math, and their best 3 subjects, right? So that is one criteria. The other criteria is that they have to meet the minimum entry requirement for the groups of diplomas they are going under. Now, in the case of the Poly Foundation program, diplomas are categorized into 2 broad categories. One category is basically what we call the science and technology diplomas, and the other category will be the non-science and technology diplomas. For the cases of diplomas within the School of HSS will be under the diploma in the group that is the non-science and technology. I will post a link where you can have more details in there. I would not want to kind of like overwhelm you with the details, but essentially you need a minimum of 12 points and you need to meet the minimum requirement of the subjects in math, English, and your best 3 subjects. So I'll post a link in the chat group for you to take a closer look. Right. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Terence. All right, let's move to the next question. Right, the next question is, and this is a very interesting question. They're asking whether they can do the diploma courses, the 3 that we are offering, as part-time diplomas. Instead of full-time, can they do it as part-time diplomas?
These diplomas that we have been sharing, they are all full-time diplomas. We don't have part-time diplomas as in 3-year diploma for part-time. Yep.
Okay, all right. Right, that's very nice. Okay. The next question is the portfolio submission a must for early childhood development and education under EAE? And it is difficult to find opportunities for exposure during the pandemic. That's the reason they're asking the question. Is the portfolio submission a must for early childhood development and education?
Okay, I'll take this question. Thank you, Mary. Now, the portfolio submission is a requisite for the application of EAE. I believe perhaps you might be preparing for EAE this coming June. So if there are no opportunities or lack of opportunities in working with young children, you don't have to worry about that, because due to the pandemic, it's also not easy to volunteer at childcare centers or even places where there are children, congregating together at enrichment centers and so on. So if you do not have that particular experience, so do not fret about it. Perhaps you can also choose to create materials that you think that might help children learn, maybe storytelling kits, or maybe some art and craft activities that you think children might like to do, that are just different aspects of the portfolio items that you can place in your portfolio. Need not necessarily have a experience working or interacting with young children. I hope that answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. All right, let's move. Let's move to the next question, huh? And this one has got to do with further education. What are the chances of poly graduates making into local universities? Do they have to be the top 10% of the cohort? And whether there are any spaces allocated for poly graduates in our local universities? I think this, all the diploma chairs can respond to this.
Maybe I can answer in a general manner. Our diploma graduates, they do go on to university. Typically, about 30 to 40% of our graduates move on to our 6 local autonomous universities. That's the NUS, NTU, SMU, SUTD, SUSS, SIT, right? And some, they move on to work first. Some, they go to overseas for their university, or some are through some other channels to the universities. So for the local autonomous universities, about 30%, 40%, but eventually we could be looking at 50 to 60% of the cohort going on to university. So yes, our students do make it to the universities. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting question, because we know that many people would like to go to the university. So I'm glad that we have this opportunity as well. Okay, let's move to a very interesting question. And this has got to do with psychology. There is a question where someone wants to know whether this course can lead the graduate from psychology to enter the police or forensic psychology pathway. Okay, so this is very specific to psychology. So can I ask Fiona to respond to this?
Hi, thanks, Mary, for the question. I think what you're trying to ask is whether immediately after the diploma, you can actually join the police force. I think it depends on the area that you actually want to work in, because I think with a diploma qualification, you can actually join the uniformed forces. But if you do want to go in and do something related to psychology, it might require you to have to undergo further education as well. Yeah, is that am I answering the question correctly?
Yeah, I think that will give them a good idea. But there's one more question before you move. There's a question asking whether it is very hard to get into the psychology course?
Well, it can be quite challenging because of the low last aggregate score, but I think generally we want to ensure that students have the right aptitude and academic the abilities so that they can actually excel in the course. I think that's important for us to know. Yeah, so it can be quite challenging in that sense. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Fiona. Okay, let's move to the next question. And this one is on, this is for preschools. Will NIEC TP collaborate with preschools for the internship? Or do students have to look for internships for themselves? And could the child choose where he or she needs to do the internship?
All right, okay, I will take this question.
Yes.
Thanks, Mary. All right, so the internship placements are allocated by the NIEC HQ Field Practice Team. So we have a team who looks after all the different placement from Practicum 1 in year 1, Practicum 2 in year 2, and internship for the year 3 6 months internship. So internship placement centers are allocated to students. So they're not allowed to choose, or they do not need to seek out for internship opportunities. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Janine. All right, there's one other question here, which is very, very interesting, a very practical question. This is for early childhood as well. How much can my child earn after graduating from the course? Very practical, we have to be very, very clear on this.
Okay, so now after graduating from the diploma in early childhood, the graduates are certified to teach in a preschool center. So the starting salary is from 2,004 to 2,800, depending on the organization that the graduate has, sought employment at, etc. So if with added skills and so on, the organization might also want to pay more. So, but as far as I know, currently it's from 2004 to 2008.
Oh, that's very nice. Good, nice paying salary, I think. Right, very good, Jenny.
It has improved quite a bit from 15 years ago, where we started with $1,000.
Yeah, well done, man. Well done. Okay, this is a very interesting question for those who, we're all aging, so this has got to do with aging. How many places are available in the diploma in gerontology, and are there plans to increase the number of places available for gerontology?
Thanks, Mary.
Yes, Emily, yes.
I can answer part of the question, which is the current intake number. Our intake stands at around 50 to 55 per cohort. So currently we have 2 classes per cohort per year, meaning we have 2 classes of year 1s, 2 classes of year 2s, 2 classes of year 3. So in total, we have about 6 classes. As to whether there are plans to increase the enrollment size, not that I know of at the moment, but it's a demand and supply issue, right? So because it's the diploma in gerontology is quite specialized. It prepares you for a career in social service, but it also focuses on the needs and the aspirations of older adults. And it's something that we know is very important, but I guess at 17, 18 years old, it's not something that is of a very priority.
Correct. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I want to add on another question. This has come up again, so don't go away. Stay there, Emily. The question is, do gerontology and other courses, other diplomas we offered, do they require students to communicate well?
I'm sure Fiona and Jeannie and Dorcas will have inputs on this as well. Definitely, I think all of us have been mentioning the importance of communication skills So especially if you're interested in working with humans rather than machines, you really, regardless of whether your focus is on older people or children or families, you must be able to be interested in communication. But of course, how good you are at it can be learned, which is why we have these life skills subjects in TP that equips you with communication skills. And for gerontology per se, we understand that some knowledge of basic dialect is a big plus point, because today's generation of older adults and the upcoming generations will still be quite conversant and comfortable in dialects. So what we have started doing is to tie up with social service agencies in the community to hold these online dialect workshops for our students. Recently, we just did ones in Teochew and Hokkien. So I think if you have interest in working in the community in general, just learning a bit of basic dialect will really help you, will go a long way. Yep. Fiona, Jeannie, Dorcas, anything to add on?
Yeah, I think what I want to add on is I think a lot of people who come into the early childhood course to work in the childcare center sometimes have this mentality that they only need to work with children. But I think like in all the other, industries and all that deals with humans, usually, you also need to deal with the parents and all that comes along the way. So if you feel that, oh, okay, so this is one area that I'm not very confident of, but I really like working with children, you can come in and we will still be able to actually teach you through some of the modules about how do you actually communicate to parents and what are the things to look out for.
Thank you, Dorcas. Very interesting. Fiona, anything to add? No, I don't think she's got anything to add. All right. Thank you very much, Dorcas. Janine, anything to add? No? Okay. All right. So we move on. I take the next question. This is a very neutral question, not specific to a diploma. The question is, what is the biggest change, the biggest set of changes that I would experience in poly as compared to being in school?
If I can take that on behalf.
Yes.
Because among my colleagues, I also work with my colleagues with regard to students' timetabling, assessments, and related. I think one my colleagues or all of us will probably concur is we would look to students to take a greater ownership of their studies, right? So on the one hand, they may not have assignments or homework they have to submit every 2-3 days. But we do require them to plan their time and take note that when we have a series of assignments and due dates, we normally release them way in advance, and students are to plan for that, right? So that's one. The others will be students being involved in a lot more collaborative work, right? And as a result, that requires them learning to work with fellow classmates on group projects. Students are not just graded based on just individual contributions, but also group assignments. So I would say probably these are the greatest adjustments. Many times, if I can be honest, the adjustment is not just for the students themselves, for the parents. The parents are wondering, okay, when I wake up and I go to work, my children are not yet at work, at school. There's something missing and all this, because students do not have a fixed timetable that the way secondary school students might have. So some days they might start a bit later, some days they'll come back a bit later, so on and so forth. So in that sense, the schedules are a lot more varied. The other thing, sometimes parents might be wondering, I'm not hearing from my students' teachers about what's happening. So I would say it's an adjustment both ways to realize that we are preparing our students for a more independent way of learning. But at the same time, we want to assure you that in the way that Temasek Poly operates, we have a care person system. Very much akin to a form teacher doing pastoral care work, right? But not in the same intense fashion. So if there's anything we want to assure parents and students getting into the poly setting is that we will have sufficient care and support provided to help our students as they navigate this new area of learning. But very much be prepared for more independent learning. But at the same time, I think as you do so, you'll find this very enriching. Yeah, thank you.
May I add a couple of trivials? differences, right? Okay. They don't wear school uniform here. In the Polytechnic, they wear their own clothes to poly. I suppose it could be a headache for some, whether today should I wear the red one or should I wear the white one? Or maybe you should wear the same black t-shirt every day. All right, so that's one difference. And the other one is that our classrooms and facilities, they are all air conditioned. All right, I think this is a good thing for some, right? Thank you.
Okay, now related to the same question, Terence and Ben, there is a question. What advice would you give a new student at HSS? And they want to know, what is the environment like being a student in HSS?
Okay, let me start first. I think firstly, I think students can expect a closely knit environment, right? Because our school diplomas are not very big. As mentioned, we have between 50 to perhaps in the biggest diploma we have called early childhood 250. So I think the students have always had the benefit of a closely knit environment. So I think that's one big plus they can expect. With regard to other opportunities, I think we definitely would provide opportunities for them to be involved in student activities, right? So as the safe management things gets better, I think we want to strongly encourage students to have that well-rounded experience beyond the classroom. Yeah, so I think these are some things students can expect. We certainly want to expect students to really be proactive, to take ownership of their learning. Right. Yep. Thank you.
You're also telling them to join CCAs as well, right? Expand themselves.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. But of course, we know CCAs are not compulsory, but we really encourage students to really have a chance to develop themselves beyond the classroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering what CCA is, it's co-curricular activities. Okay, I mean, this is common for us, but maybe some of you are wondering what CCA is. Okay, I have one very interesting question. This is really very interesting, and I think all the course chairs, all of us can answer this. Is there a minimum GPA that my child needs to meet every semester in order to maintain the ECDA Teaching Award? This is for you, Ginny and Dorcas.
Okay, I'll take this question. This is with regards to the ECDA Training Award. Now, applicants only need to apply via the school to ECDA, and there is no minimum GPA to meet, nor there is any minimum GPA to sustain throughout. The only thing that students need to have is to have good conduct and good behavior, and that's about it. So as long as you are passionate about the early childhood, working and wanting to nurture and working with young children, you go through an interview, right, to, as part of the application process for the ECDA Training Award. And once you are successful, then you get sponsorship for the 3 years of the poly education here in the diploma. So there is no minimum GPA to sustain through the 3 years. Yeah.
Right. Well, that is heartwarming. I think that will put a lot of people at peace. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And I think this is for you, Fiona. Okay. This person is asking that they have noted that the entry requirement for diploma in psychology is 5 to 10 points, right? And if I manage to secure a seat through the EAE, what is the minimum point that I must secure in my O-level?
Thanks, Mary. For applicants who enter through EAE, they still need to meet the minimum entry requirements of the diploma. And for us, it's actually a minimum of 26 points, as well as meeting all the requirements for English language, math, and any 3 other subjects. You need to be able to receive a grade of between 1 to 6. So you can refer to the minimum entry requirement that's posted online. But if you do get in through EAE, I also hope that you can put in your best. Also, you still need to put in your best for your O-levels and try to achieve the best results in order to come in. Yeah, but 26 is the minimum that's required for all the diplomas. Yeah.
Okay, right. Now, thank you very much. Okay, Another very, very interesting question. If this is a question, as a person coming in from the international school, what MYB or IB scores do I need to get to enter Temasek? Who would, Terence, do you want to answer this?
Right. Yes. Thanks for that question. Now, what I can do now, this is where I think our admissions office would be best placed to give the details, because when we talk about international schools, and different qualifications, there could be a range of qualifications. What I'll be doing right now is to post a link under the chat function, whereby you can go and take a look. Students coming through the international school qualification or the IB or IP basically what we call direct admissions applicants, right? And for direct admissions applicants, you could actually qualify, depending on the eligibility of your course, for a diploma program to be completed within 2.5 years, actually. So, but a lot depends on the nature of the qualification. Let me post the link in the chat function, and then I think you can navigate and get more details from the information there, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Terence. Thank you very much. Okay, this is one last question. For psychology, what is the EAE interview process and what qualities? Okay, first point is, what is the EAE interview process and what qualities do you look for and what should be in my portfolio? Oh, so many things. 3 things. Can you recall? What is the EAE interview process? Second, what qualities do you look for a student? And third, what should be in my portfolio? Psychology, okay. Yes.
Okay, what is the process of EAE for psychology? We do put applicants through a written assessment as well as an interview. So that's going to be the process for the EAE process. And the second one is, what are the qualities that we are looking for in students? I think generally in EAE interviews, we try to really understand the interests and passions of the students, as well as whether or not they are well suited for the course. So these are the things that we essentially try to figure out during the interview. And the last thing is, oh dear.
Last part. Do you recall the last part? What should be in my portfolio?
To be in your portfolio. Actually, the instructions for what should be included in your portfolios will be provided to you. So essentially, we're also looking for just certificates and transcripts that you might have at the moment. Yeah. So we don't really require anything additional for the site portfolio. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. Okay. All right, Emily, this is for you. And this question is, what internships would be going on for GEM students? Where would they go for internships?
Thank you, Mary. I'll try and summarize. Most of our students intern in the community sector, in your active aging centers, your senior activity centers, elder care centers. So these are all the center-based services where students would be tasked to plan and run programs for the seniors at the centers. They may also help with some of the care duties. So I need to clarify that we are not a nursing course. Okay, we do not train students to perform the nursing care or clinical care type of work. If there's a need to, you would be assisting the nurses, assisting the care staff, but your main expertise would be in planning programs and activities, managing volunteers, okay, because many of these social service agencies rely heavily on volunteers to help them, do their outreach, befriending. So one of the roles that our interns do is also to assist to manage the volunteers. Of course, we also have students who are more interested in research. We place them at institutions like Duke at NUS, where they assist with aging-related research. They assist with focus group discussions to collect data. All right, and a few of them are also placed with Agency for Integrated Care, which is the national care integrator in Singapore. So they do a bit more, they dabble a little bit more with policy making, assisting to administer schemes and initiatives. So it's really a broad range, all with an aging focus, but depending on your interest and your strengths, if you're one who prefers hands-on and you really like to be at the front line with the seniors, you would be in the community where the action is. If you're more behind the scenes, more policy, more academic, more research, we also have placements in these other areas. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Emily. Right, I think we'll go for the last question now, huh? And the last question is this, and this is for both Dorcas and Jenny, for you. Can NIEC graduates apply to teach in primary, secondary, junior colleges and centralized institutes after graduating with a diploma in early childhood development and education? I think the answer is quite clear, but never mind. You can give an attempt.
Okay, I'll take that question.
Yes.
So the Diploma in Early Childhood Development and Education only qualifies for NIEC graduates to teach in the preschool sector and not beyond.
But I think they want to know whether they will have the opportunity. Can they upgrade?
Should they actually have, interest along the way after they have actually taught a few years to the children in the EC sector, and they want to explore teaching because teaching is still very much their calling, then what they can do is to actually go into the NIE website to actually look at their admission criteria for their diploma courses or the degree courses. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dorcas. Jenny, anything to add? No? All right. Okay, any last words from anyone? Ben?
Yeah, I saw a question which was asking how to register for the webinar next week. The one that's about optimizing the 12 JAE choices on 13th of January at 11 a.m. My understanding is that it will be, you'll be able to register after today. You go to TP website, the main landing page, you'll be able to find a link there. Okay, and also once again, I want to thank all participants for taking your Saturday morning, spending with us, and I really appreciate your time with us. I hope this has been a very useful session for you, for your decision making. And to all students who are getting your O-level results next week, we wish you the very, very best. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to all the panelists, and thank you for the questions, everyone. And we had a very nice, engaging sharing session this morning, so I'm very glad and very happy with that. We have come to the end of our program, and let me thank you all once again for joining us here today. Okay, now, before we move on, and before you discover more about TP, please do us a favor by filling in the survey. You just scan the QR code on the left side of this slide and fill it up, okay? And I just want to add on that in a few minutes at 12 o'clock, there will be a 1-hour talk where 3 of our students will discuss experiences and opportunities in HSS. All right? The QR code with the dinosaur will take you to the list of talks where you can click on the HSS student sharing session. It has been a pleasure being with you this morning, and I want to really, really say this to all the participants and all our guests this morning. I want to say that next Wednesday is D-Day, but don't worry, I think all of you will do beautifully, and we wait to see you in TP, and we look forward to having you as our students. Okay, so stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in person, not virtually, in TP. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to the panelists, and so long, farewell. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
colleagues.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.